Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Tiny CEO. Great to have you all with me. Look, I'm sporting a new look. I've got the glasses on today, and this will be no surprise to anybody that has seen my screenshots from my phone with the large font. But finally, I've given in. I'm wearing my reading glasses more and more, which they is true. It fucks up your eyesight, but it was getting pretty bad by the end there. So just had to bite the bullet. Unfortunately, no one can outrun time. So even me. So unfortunately, this is my new look. Some people say it makes me look smarter. I disagree. First, I want to congratulate Jordan Melita, who won the Super Bowl Eagles, the first Australian to start and finish a Super Bowl. There's been kickers and stuff, I think, that have played before, but great to see him lifting one of the biggest prizes in sport. Boy, I've got a list of things to get to on this episode of Tiny CEO. So much stuff. Firstly, I want to congratulate Kevin in Bristol, an incredible first appearance in studio. He can hang. He was funny. It wasn't like jaw drop. It was very good for the first time. He was probably very nervous. And I'm glad I could play a little part in bringing him into studio. Obviously, I campaigned very hard when I was the third chair booker, and took a while, but I think the campaigning did pay off. Eventually, Kirk relented, and we were able to get Kevin in Bristol um, in in studio. So I thought it was fun. He's a great guy, one of the best Minifans out there, and just really good to have him in studio. And I just look. I don't need credit, but I'm going to pat myself on the back for this. I make some changes and differences in my small time as third chair booker, bringing people back, Steve from Gloucester, bringing people in for the first time, Mama Kay. So, I always try my best for the show and for the Minifans, and I think it's really paid off. Oh, hold on 1 sec on the internet. Just Phil, whoever's here, Phil. I realized all the doors are closed to where the router is, so maybe that's not helping the internet. So thank you, Tommy Quinlan, for that note. All right, so much to talk about. So much to talk about. Let's start with the John Hot or Not debacle. Now, I tuned in and on, well, it was Tuesday my time, but Monday night your time, and I saw bits of Hot or Not. I saw maybe 5 minutes while I was working, just jumped in, and it was the usual babble. And I see they bring in this nice young woman called Brie, and I heard like a minute of her. And, she was, a reasonably attractive girl. So I was happy to have her on the network. But I went back and watched that show. That is one of the worst shows ever on the networks. It was just insufferable babbling. I mean, Quinlan and John babble. They had this girl on, and this is the thing. She clearly doesn't listen to KMS, is not a Minifan, has no idea about the world. She's babbling on about all sorts of shit. And it was terrible. And look, there have been some bad shows on the network. There's some on at the moment, like Code Brown, whatever. The point is, I'm the CEO, and there's a few things that are not going to happen under my watch. All right. John is not going to turn this network into GVE. So none of that shit is going to come back. If John wants to just come on and babble about nothing with Quinlan and bring in random people, I'm just going to fucking chuck that show off the network. I'm going to, because my thing is, that is bad for everybody else. Like, everybody's working hard. People like Freddie Lynn spending hours and hours, booking guests, And the brand of the network is important. And look, one thing the network should be about, it should be fun. It should not be taken too seriously, but you should at least have the intention of doing a show for Minifans that people are going to enjoy. And this was heinous. This was a blight on the internet, a blight on the channel. And I had to put a trigger warning on the title, which John is very upset about. And I will say, I have given him access to the YouTube channel. He can just go and change the title back whenever he wants. So he's such a fucking insufferable loser. He can't even change a title on fucking YouTube. And of course I'm playing with him, but seriously, like, I don't want people watching that. Like, if you are limited for your time, there are so many better shows on the Minifan Network you should be watching. These guys are not putting in effort. They're talking about absolute horseshit. I can't believe Quinlan is on the radio, and you know, they're just giving each other a fucking circle jerk with Bree and Quinlan and John. It was just embarrassing. It was bad. It's bad branding. You know, this. It's bad for everybody. You know, it's the opposite of rising tide lifts all ships. It's like, this is an anchor on the network pulling it down. And, you know, I've changed the title back to something more palatable for John, but I cannot urge you stronger not to watch Hot or Not. Boycott that show. Boycott that show until they make changes. Boycott that show until they decide they're actually going to make an effort to do a show for Minifans. Like, you don't have to talk about Minifan stuff all the time. I get that. Like, and there are other people on the network, like Josh, his partner. I don't think he's a Minifan, but at least with Josh, it's a sports show, and this is a sport. You know, Barstool Sports. People might be interested in sport, whereas this just fucking insufferable, awful, turgid shit. And, you know, like, they're just laughing at terrible jokes the whole time. They're saying how bad it was. The whole time they're saying, oh, we're going to get in so much shit for this. Well, I'm sorry, but that's just bad. Bad. Poor Brando, you know, rearranged his whole life so they could go live at the time they wanted to, and they deliver that stuff. So all I can say is stay away from Hot or Not until they get their act together. I mean, it is definitely not hot. It's ice cold, and I would recommend. I mean, I will throw it off the network if they keep this up. I think they can do better. I think they can do better. And some of their Hot or Nots have been fine, but if it keeps going this way, they're in trouble. And people say, oh, stay out of John's way, blah, 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 blah. Well, I'm sorry, but I'll stay out of his way. But at some point, you got to step in. When someone goes too far, like way over the line of what's, like, I have a social responsibility. I have a social conscience to protect people from that kind of absolute inane drivel. It was just horrible. So John's on notice, Quinlan's on notice, that Bree girl, lovely girl, but honestly, what is she doing on the Minifan Network? I don't think she's listened to a second of KMS. She's got a fucking huge ego on her. She was fine, but this is not a network where John can just bring his friends on and chat about nothing. Like, go and do that on GVE. You're not turning this network into Meeting in the Minds, all right? So that's a line in the sand. That is a line in the sand moment since the unification. You know, and just want to reiterate, it's bad for everybody. Mick working on Mike and the Minifans, Freddie with his show, Cinema with his show, Kane, Brando, all these people are wonderful creators providing great content for the Minifans. What if someone who listens to KMS goes, I'm going to try the network out, and the first thing they click on is Hot or Not? They will never come back. Even if they click on Code Brown, they might come back, and that is awful. Even if they click on Robbie V, they might come back. There is some charm to that idiot. But Hot or Not, there is no charm. And, you know, the drop down in standard from the last episode they did to this one was one of the more bigger drop offs in network history. So, look, that's it. It's done now, but they're on notice. Quinlan's on notice. John's on notice. Bree's on notice. this keeps happening, I will just, I don't know, I'll just delete the streams after they're aired or something. Like, it won't be changing the titles. I'll just fucking scrub them. So that's, John has said, I'll leave my shows alone. Well, when you earn my respect, I will. But you sitting there giggling and saying, "Oh, no one's going to like this," that joke's done. Like, that's over. All right. It's the Minifan Network. When I say we have standards, that's very loose because we'll let anybody on. But I want the intentions to be good on this network, and that was just arm waving horse shit. All right. Next thing, well, the opposite. Blind Mike had a great appearance on the Unrelated show. Those three seemed like they all got on really well. It was a fun show. Jackson tried his best to derail the interview towards the end, but 85-90% of that interview was must-listen stuff. I mean, if you haven't, this is the best episode of the Unrelated show in history, and admittedly, they've set a very low bar, but this is a huge improve. Great guest, funny chat, and look, my advice to Jackson would be, and this is serious, he can take this on the chin or he can cry like a baby. There's nothing wrong with wanting to talk about comedy, but you've got to find interesting angles to talk about comedy with Mike. Like, it just devolved the last 10, 15 minutes in Jackson and Mike just naming comedians they liked, and Tim as well, which I don't know if anyone needed that. It was, until then, it was an amazing show. And, as soon as Tim said, "Oh, Jackson, it's your turn," well, it just, the last 15 minutes was kind of boring. But if you're into comedy, it might be passable. But I think if you're even into comedy, it was like, all right, it's just guys listing comedians they like, and it wasn't particularly fresh. But again, Unrelated show, they're on a heater. Cinema Now, Blind Mike, definitely go and check it out if you haven't. And thank you to Blind Mike for coming on the network. He's very supportive of the network, and good to see. Couple of things with the show. I mean, obviously, it's pretty prevalent now. We're in that Laconia build-up phase, so it's not that they're switched off and more focused on Laconia, but they kind of are. Like, you can tell Kirk's sort of really focused on, and he has to be, because everything is on his shoulders. Like, he's going to get no ideas from Cullinane and Justin. You got Fax babbling away with stupid ideas. So everything is on his shoulders. So you can tell that's a very important part of his makeup at the moment. And we also get a little bit of the stress from Kirk. Like, I think he starts to sort of, the stress levels start to rise as you get close to the live show, as it should. I mean, there's a tremendous amount of pressure, a lot of expectation. He's got a terrible team around him of fairly unprofessional people on putting on live shows. It's sort of like a school or a student production kind of vibe. You've got unqualified people doing it. So obviously he's going to have the stress. But I'm sure he'll deliver. I have no doubt he will deliver a great show, as always. We got the Lego bit from Justin again on, was that Monday's show, where the show was ending and then it kind of realized I hadn't done an ad read, so Kirk was stretching, and then they got into Justin having a lot of Lego. And I don't think this is an irrational hobby. I mean, so many people are into Lego. Usually they're a little younger than Justin, but I bet you he's not the first, like, 25-year-old to have a Lego collection. And I find the Justin bits mildly tiresome, but that's only because I've heard them so often. It's very much a formula now. You can almost script it. It's Justin said something kind of wacky, and I've said this before. Justin said something kind of wacky, which he knows is going to get attention. Like, he plays it up, which is fine. He's doing his show, for God damn it. So he's got to play it up a little bit. Kirk will then seize on that little bit of wackiness, and then they will just make fun of it, and they'll riff off of it for a while. And Justin does the right thing. He just digs in. He digs into his wackiness, and he pretends like he really makes sure he holds the line. Like, when Cullinane tries to be wacky, he'll try it for a couple of minutes before he just gives up. and just backs off and says, "Oh no, it's all right." Whereas Justin really embraces the weirdness, and that's a central part of the show now. It's you could call it a segment, Justin's bit of the day, and which is fine. Like they need stuff to talk about. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'd rather them talk about that than surviving Barstool or something ad nauseum. But yeah, so that's that's the state of the show at the moment. I did enjoy the death of Timothy Fax. Got to say that. Hello, Tim. I know you're watching. I know he loves the network. Boy, he must be jonesing to get on and do Face the Facts. I don't know what Fax was thinking. I have no idea what he was thinking. To even think of suggesting something to Kirk was wild. And to be like, oh, yeah, that's funny. I'm surprised Kirk didn't fire him as intern right there and then. And that's actually probably an indication of like the stress and the focus of Laconia. Like I think you get Kirk on a different day and he just tells Fax to fuck off. I like Fax, but the evidence is clear now. He's just trying to get into Barstool any way he can, hanging around to meet Jeff and Carabas. I mean, it's very, very sad. It's very, very sad. I don't know if he's doing a great job as an intern. I have no idea what he's doing. But yeah, if I was an American, I would be upset that this is deemed an internship for the Army. But look, good on him. He's trying his best. He's a worker. But yeah, I did enjoy him getting absolutely torched by Kirk because it's exactly what everyone thought. He's a clout chaser. He's a clout chaser. He's trying to stick his head in anything he can, and it must be killing him. I can't remember which show. Maybe it was the Brando show with Joan and Warren that they were talking about how difficult this would be for Fax, and it must be terrible. Like he would think, oh, I'm going to be an intern. I'm going to be like a minor character on the show, and now it's turned out he's an intern. He's not a minor character. He's not a character at all. He's not allowed to do anything. I mean, there are some double standards here because when interns in the past have been working at KMS, they have been allowed to go on the network. I mean, Will, you might remember, intern Nick, one of the producers of Men is Live, RIP, DJ K. I mean, the interns previous to this have been never banned from the Minifan network. So I think this is Kirk fucking with Fax. I don't think Kirk likes people trying to use the show to get somewhere else. So yeah, it is double standard, and poor Fax is bearing the brunt of this. I mentioned the Brando show before. Great episode last night with John and Warren. And fortunately, Pat Ford wasn't allowed to use the internet that night. I think actually his other half has put him on like internet rations, and she's keeping a very tight leash on Pat Ford, which is good because we've all seen him. And he's struggling. He's absolutely falling to pieces. So yeah, Brando. I've got Kane in the back. Kane's going to be coming and joining me soon. I'm going to go through my list. I've got a whole list, and then I'll bring Kane in. The great Kane. So stay tuned for that one. But yeah, Brando doing a good show, but I worry he is A, delusional, and B, a genuine psycho. Like I actually think he believes Dave Portnoy is going to hire him. Like he thinks he's going to be a star. He thinks this is the stepping stone to fame. He thinks he's going to be the next Chris Klemmer. I don't think he's joking. Like he sent messages to me like, I'll remember you when I'm famous. And if it does happen for Brando, please remember me. But yeah, I think he's, genuine, delusional, crazy person. Sweet, lovely. I think Brando is got a good heart. I've got a good sort of gauge on these things. And like, I'm going with Brando, good heart. And he and Joan and Warren did a good show. So again, if you missed it, go back. Jared Carabas was in studio last week. he wants to make up. I have reached out to him. We're going to try and do a show together before he goes to spring training, but he's very unreliable. So I don't know if that'll happen. But, nice of him to wave the olive branch and want to rekindle our relationship. So we'll see how that goes. He's he's sort of I'm on a golden run of Barstool celebrities wanting to like mention me when they go on the show. I don't know if you've noticed. It's one of those things like that. It's like a rite of passage. They just have to drop Menners into the show at some point from Big Cat, Jared, Aldrin. I mean, they all do it. And who am I to argue? Obviously, compelling character. I've got the Kane fallout on my list, but I'm just gonna like put an X next to that, and I'll talk about that with Kane when he joins me. Couple of other things. Mutt never sounded better. The beeping bit is very funny, and I think he's actually found his sweet spot. He should get one of those. He should actually get one of those machines that Kane's brother uses and just talk to people like that for the rest of his life. The car park in Yukon, I'm with Kirk. That is a fucking nightmare. Being stuck in a car park for an hour and 20 minutes would drive me nuts. Like, it's claustrophobic. You're anxious. You want to go home and go to bed. So I have a strategy for these sporting events. You can only do it two ways. You've either got to leave early, or you've just got to suck it up, and rather than sit in your car, go to like a bar or a cafe or somewhere near the stadium and just hang out for an hour, have a chat, have a drink, because you're going to be much more comfortable there than sitting in your car. And then you go to your car and everybody's gone, and then you just fuck off home. So, I mean, that was a rookie error. I blame Jeff. I blame Mutt. Kirk was a victim here. They should have looked after him better. I mean, they take this huge star to a game, and then he's forced us in the car park for an hour and 20 minutes. Just horse shit. So yeah, my tactic is you either leave early or you go for a drink afterwards. Groundbreaking stuff, I know. Next one. Oh, I got a message from somebody on Twitter asking me, what did I think of Cullinane not listening to the show when he was driving from the courthouse to the show on Monday? So a couple of things. Firstly, really good way of extending the show, because Justin and Cullinane are lazy. What you do is you have less topics, but you just go, Justin brings them up, right? And then what they should do is every show, Justin goes through the topics, then Cullinane enters and he goes through the same topics, and we get to hear them all again. And that will actually pad out the show. We got an almost 3-hour show because of that. Like, Justin had run out of topics after an hour. So I think this could be a tactic moving forward. Cullinane either sits in his car or comes late. Like, he can just come an hour late and just roll through the topics again and just see what happens. Maybe we get better takes. But on Cullinane not listening to the show, I mean, he's an EEI guy. He would have been listening to EEI on the way to the studio. So I'm not surprised at all. I mean, it's clear he loves EEI. So he'd have been listening to that. What else? Montante versus Cullinane. Team Montante in this. After all he does for that show, goes in for free, gets Cullinane a job, you can reply. I'm sorry, but if someone calls you twice, you can reply. Now, calling him, I get it. Cullinane's got, 2 kids. He's busy. You just send a message, hey, Montante, what's up? And then you get the, then you see, you sort of, what's the word? You just check that it's not going to be a waste of time. And then if it's not a waste of time, then you can call him. But I 100% am on Team Montante with this. All right, now I'm going to bring in Kane, host of Kane's Corner. Hello, Kane.
How you doing?
Doing well. How are you?
I'm good. How you doing?
Yeah, good, thanks. So I wanted to go through the ratings from last week, the network ratings. Thought I'd bring you in for this. So number 11 last week was the Robbie V show, the cellar dweller, and I think The one thing I will say about Robbie V is his gambling results are pretty good. So I don't even know. I haven't watched it for a while because I'm not a gambler, but I still think it could be doing a little bit better than it is. I mean, we've got Code Brown next. So Code Brown was at 10. Code Brown is awful. You've got this guy, Nick Tacular, who's trying to be Kirk, like burping into the microphone. Oh, can I just window into like people trying to be Kirk? So Code Brown does it, just burping into fucking microphone at the beginning. That I don't know if you've noticed, but Kirk really doesn't do that anymore. So you're kind of doing something like 5 years old. He's kind of moved away from that. Like rare for him, but he's found a new bit. I was on the phone to Mayo earlier this week, and he's annoying as he is in the show, and he just decided to start burping away into his phone to try and be Kirk. I mean, just drop the whole shtick, guys. Drop the whole shtick. It's done. Everybody can burp. It's fine. It's old news. So Robbie V at 11, Code Brown at 10. Again, just horrible. Then 9, PRC Chomps. So you had Joe the Axe with PRC and Robbie V. Kane, we both mentioned this. I thought Robbie V kind of sabotaged that show. Like, I think Joe had some great stuff. PRC had some good stuff, but Robbie V just babbling away. He should actually go on Hot or Not.
Well, that was to me he actually brought up the 3 most interesting things to me. The things that he brings to the fillet at the Super Bowl party, the beef stew. I don't know if you saw that beef stew. Somebody called it what is that dog food that pedigree or is the name for?
Yep.
It was. I felt bad in a way. It was so bad looking. And then the jambalaya, which I thought was 3 amazing things to bring to a Super Bowl party. But I thought it was the wrong cast of characters for that show for sure.
Yeah, but good effort from PRC. He's consistent. He works hard. He actually puts some thought and effort into his shows, like doing a Super Bowl party show the week of the Super Bowl. Like that's actually, good stuff. So that was at 9. At 8 was Hot or Not. That's probably as high as that show is ever going to get. Did you heard me before? I mean,
I did. I actually didn't hear. So what happened? I didn't even hear.
Okay, don't. Did you watch the show?
You didn't come on at 8 o'clock. What happened?
Did you watch Hot or Not? Did you watch?
No,
Hot or Not?
I don't watch Hot or Not. No,
okay, don't worry about it then. Good. Don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
Don't watch it.
That bad, huh?
This was awful. They got on some random chick. They're just jerking each other off.
Okay, I'm not going to watch it.
So maybe these ratings don't include the show we've just had. So this is from the week before, which wasn't as bad. So number 8, Hot or Not. Number 7 on the network ratings, Fireside Chats. A huge nosedive for Freddie's show. Like just do. Yeah, it was a good episode too. It was I think good. Stevie Life to Tape and Jamie.
I think that's why this week he's promoting his show a week early, just to get ahead of it, to get those ratings back up. Because I don't think he took it well. He seemed a little
no,
if you ask me.
Yes, and I would say if you missed Fireside Chats last week, go back and listen to it. You've got the audio feed, you've got the video feed, so it is really good. I yank on Freddie's chain a little bit because I really didn't like. As soon as the networks merged, he was like, "Oh, maybe we do need an A and a B channel. Like he's something fucking special." I'll tell you what we do need. If we have a B channel, I'm just putting Hot or Not on that channel. That's it. It'll just be a channel for them. That's it. So yeah, Fireside Chats tanked it to 7. 6, Kane's Corner with Fuss and Tim. So you had 5 and 6. You locked up 2 spots. And then number 5 was your Kane's Beyond Average Corner, where you did your version of the Beyond Average podcast. So good for you. 2 shows, mid-table.
Yeah.
Number 4, Brando show with Justin. And I think, unfortunately, the ratings have got to his head a bit. I think that's why we're seeing this attitude of his. But he got Justin on. It was fine. And I do get a lot of people reaching out to me saying they like Brando's kind of deadpan humor. And so do I. Like he will deliver jokes in the most deadpan way. So I don't want to inflate his little ego anymore, or big ego or big head, but it wasn't bad. I mean, he needs to do about 1,000 more shows before he'll be any good at this, but he's on the way. Number 3, huge debut. So Cinema's show, What Else, just came in over the top and came in at number 3. I liked the show. I thought it was pretty good, but I
Not
don't.
great though. Not great.
No, I don't think we need to hear last month's take this month. Like, I just think the way the KMS world is, it's too old. Like, he started, talking about surviving Barstool, which everybody is sick of. Not just me. Like, okay, we know I hate it, but everybody is sick of it. And he went into some other show topics. I thought at the end, when he started to bring in some segments where they started to kind of rate things, like look at the month as a whole, and I liked when they were like playing their favorite clips. So if I'm Cinema's producer, I'm saying bring all that shit at the end up to the front and make that more the style of the show. Like, you don't really need to have a discussion about issues that have been talked about on 50 other Minifan Network shows, and you're just doing it a month later. I think the other stuff is good. Pick your favorite moments from the month. Try and, tie it all together in some way. So that would be my advice to Cinema, because the first sort of half an hour, 40 minutes was pretty rough, and then it kind of got into a bit of a flow.
I think he'll figure it out, though. He's pretty good at it.
Well, let's not get that far. But the other thing was he had all these fucking idiots from other network shows on who've already talked about all these stuff. So
exactly, that's the problem. That was the problem to me, was the panel. I think it's the wrong panel. Like, he needs a different set of people. Yeah.
2, Mena's Live, good week for Mena's Live, and number 1, Mike and the Minifans holding up the number 1 spot. I do have a slight issue, and I'd be curious for your feedback on this, Kane, is I do have a slight issue with Mick taking credit for Mike and the Minifans' success. Now, I do think he's been very good since he came back and started hosting the show, and I can reveal now I've been booked as a panelist for this Friday's Mike and the Minifans. But that show, like, it has a strong brand that is nothing to do with Mick. Like, it's been going since KMS started. It is the flagship Minifan reaction show, and it's not indestructible. We saw John completely destroy it. I mean, he absolutely fucking ran that show into the ground. But Mick has come back. He's resuscitated it. He does deserve credit for that. But, it's not Mick's doing why it's getting the views. I mean, it is the show people watch when they come to the network because of the brand.
Yeah, I think if they stuck you in there, it'd be the same thing. Like, I don't think it's because of him. I think if the show's going to get if it's good, it's going to get 1,000 views either way.
It'd be better if they stuck me in. Let's be honest. So that's the ratings. So we'll see how they go next week. We'll see where the chips fall. Kane, so tough week for you last week. How you feeling?
I don't know. I didn't find it that tough. I mean, I enjoyed it. I don't know. I think it's hard to explain. I was so weird that I don't even know what to think about it. Like, people, I came out of it thinking people really hate me. I know that for a fact. I was shocked, but actually there was a lot of people that reached out that I found that support too. So, it's a double-edged sword. There's just people out there that aren't going to put their self in the line to support me. I get it, but behind the scenes they do.
Yeah.
So I don't think I'm as hated as maybe Tim, Rig Jolds and other people may think. That's all.
Yeah. There are closet Kane fans for sure. The KKK bunch. Sorry.
Yeah, I don't really. It doesn't really bother me that much. It rolls off.
I know you don't like that joke. But the thing is, I guess from my advice, last week, I did feel you got stuck in the weeds. Like, you started off having a good time with it, and then like the weeds just started to drag you, and it started to, it became a bit arm wavy, a bit too, like Kirk was just basically, the way I read it is, you went in there, did a great show. Kane stocks like were going up. Like, it was like Portnoy coin. You were heading to the moon, and Kirk was like, all right, I'm going to cut this fucker off at the knees. And he just does that to have some fun. And yeah, you were.
It's hard to tell sometimes. I'll tell you that. I think part of it's fun, and also part of it probably he was bothered by stuff I've said. I mean, why would you do that? You know? I mean, after I said I didn't want him on my show, which is not the way I meant to say it, but it came off that way. I honestly think it kind of was like he's like, "What the fuck?" You know? Maybe it bothered him.
You think he was so upset that he got
upset? He's like, "Fuck this guy!"
Corner
like, who does he think he is? Like, let me on his show. Like, but I don't know. I enjoyed it. I had fun, and you know, I gained followers, so I don't know. Couldn't have been that bad, right?
No, and have you thought about like, you know, your personal habits? You know, like the picking your nose, the clothes you wear, the constant coughing without a tissue or anything. Like, do you think maybe take a handkerchief or carry a handkerchief now? Go to Milton's and get some clothes that aren't 3 sizes too small.
Yeah.
Do you think you should do a few of those things?
I got to do it. You know, I mean, it was a eye-opening moment coming around. But look, I cough. I can't help it. Maybe try to lose some weight. That's probably would be helpful. Picking the nose thing. I've been trying to keep my hands grounded on the ground. Don't move them.
Yeah.
Don't touch.
Yeah.
No, it opens your eyes, but it's part of the Kane charm, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I mean, the 2 great nose pickers in the KMS world, Steve from Gloucester, who
I hate. You know, I hate that guy.
Pick and eats. Yeah, I want to get into this. Picks and eats it on camera. So you don't quite do that much. You just like probably put in the food you're cooking or something. Christmas dinner, like snot and roast lamb. So what's going on with Steve from Gloucester? Because I found this quite typical of Steve from Gloucester. Like,
well, you know what? I go ahead. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off.
I was going to say you've been one of his big supporters, and he just saw an opportunity where everyone was punching down on you, and he thought, I'm going to join in because it'll get me back in the good graces of some Minter fans.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've just always I supported him a lot. Like even when people were so down on him, I always took his side. I fucking put myself out there to take his side. I thought he did a good job. What I saw this week when he just did that, it wasn't. He's like, oh, it's just a joke, but it's not a joke, Steve. You're doing it for whatever reason you're doing it for, because you're jealous or whatever it is. I don't know what it is, but you took unprovoked shots, and then you've come around and you keep doing it on this weird thing where it's some bit that I've never even how to even talk to you. Which is whatever, but you're just a scumbag. You know, when people are down, that's when you pounce. And when you're down, if you would have went through what I went through, you would have ran off the internet. That's the difference. You know.
Oh no, he'd called his lawyer. He'd have called his lawyer and started threatening people with legal action.
And that's the difference. Like I wouldn't always have supported you. You're just a disloyal fucking scumbag. I mean, that's what you are. I was wrong about him. Completely wrong. And I have no respect for him. You know, I just don't. I don't have any respect for him. So. You know, sad. Yeah. I thought we had a pretty decent relationship, but I know he's kind of like joking, but it's the image of it, you know, like piling on when you're the one who fucking runs away every time something goes on. You know, it didn't bother me or anything. He's just a dirtbag, you know.
I mean, I agree with that, and I think that the clearest indication is the running off to burn barrel as soon as things got a bit hot here, and then coming back and pretending like nothing happened. I'm glad he's back. I think he's a good character. I think he's great in studio once a month, once every couple of months. But that's about it. You know, that's about it. Do you have any I've lost Kane. You're still on mute. That's fucking you're still on mute. Everyone's happy. So anyway, while Kane's sorting out his microphone, I do want to you're still on mute, Kane. I want to promote what's coming up on the network this week. Yeah, you're back. So Fireside Chat, you've got Freddie with Clemmer and Blind Mike. So Mike on twice in a week. So great stuff there. You've got Bree from Hot or Not doing a new show that has nothing to do with Minifan stuff. She's just coming on and talking shit with John.
Does she even watch the show?
No, she doesn't.
Why is she on the network? Like, this is a John. Like, this is what I hate about John. I really do hate this part about him. He should be like, you shouldn't do a show on the network. You don't listen to the show. That's the prerequisite. You have to listen to the show. She doesn't listen.
Look, I don't I don't think it's I don't want to say it's a hard and fast rule that you have to listen to the show
I
to
think
come
that's
on
what
the
Kirk
network.
said. All right.
But absolutely, the primary goal should be it's a channel for the fans. As I said, you're on mute again. You're an idiot. Josh's partner is not a fan of the show, and they do timeout talks. But I think that's a bit different. It's a straight sports show, and it's on a channel for Barstool Sports fans. So there is some tie in there. And Josh is not even a fan of the show.
And he's also had impact on the show. I don't even know who he is.
Yeah, and for just Quinlan and John and this girl to babble. Anyway, she's coming back, the Bree show. I think it starts Saturday night. Mike and the Minifans on Friday, me, Mick, and that's about it. I don't think he's worked out his panel yet.
Should be Kevin from Bristol, right? I mean, it's a no-brainer, isn't it?
If he's available. Friday nights are hard. And then what else? I think that's it for the main stuff with the network. Any topics you want to bring up before I hit the chat?
Nah, I don't think so, because I'm going to do my show right after this.
Great. Kane's Corner coming up after Tiny CEO. All right. I'm going to take questions from the chat. I'm not going to go back through the chat. So if you put a question in the chat, I will not see it. So Dave Scott. Hey, Manners, how are you? I'm really good, thanks. You are looking less high today. Thank you. Well, it is like 12 o'clock, 12, almost 1 p.m. on a Wednesday. So I'm kind of working. But yeah, thank you. What do you think of the glasses? Good look.
You talking to me? Yeah, great look.
Yeah, great. Thank you.
Yeah, and how are they working? That's the real question.
Well, it's good. I can see stuff.
Everything.
Now.
No issues.
No issues.
I'm almost there myself. I've been getting real close here to having to get some little readers myself. So I think I'm just gonna be joining you soon.
I really tried to avoid wearing glasses. But
Don, why is Don with other people in chat like trying to reach out to my girlfriend on Twitter? How about that, Don? You fucking scummy. Okay, no, it's okay.
No. Don the Jeweler's just come back. Don the Jeweler. Why is Kane using KMS to cheat on his girlfriend? Well, we don't actually know you were trying to cheat on your girlfriend because we don't.
They're a lot different now, I would say. But in the end of the day, like these guys are also behind the scenes. But
you're just an asshole move from Don to do this. Like, we know he's an asshole. He reaches out to Kirk because he was upset about the John Gruden video. What a fucking big fat vagina. And now he's, trying to get involved in Kane's personal life. Like, have some fucking standards.
Weird.
Have some fucking standards.
Yeah. Okay, Don.
Don Jeweler. I'm not doing anything. Okay.
Don is he's the classic. This is what he does. He riles people up and he's like, I didn't do anything. But you're also involved in it. It's not a big deal. I'm not upset about it, but it's just the point. It's like, I don't understand the rationale of people actually trying to find people that I know to try to contact them. And I don't even I can't wrap my mind around it. I just really can't. That's why I have to keep exposing these guys. It's just somebody has to do it. These people that have no lives. Have you ever thought once about, I wonder who Don the Jeweler's girlfriend is? I mean, honestly.
No. I mean,
it's not just him either. I'm not trying to say
I thought it was like 4 people. But question. So it's good you brought it up. Do you want to explain those DMs to MA Gambling Girl?
I don't know if I can. I mean, I think they're pretty obvious. I don't really think I don't know what the fuck I was thinking, but that's a bad excuse. But I don't know.
Well, you probably had a slightly hard penis and were feeling a bit horny.
And they're in the morning, which is concerning. But I don't drink in the morning, so it is what it is. I mean, they're there. I can't deny them. I wouldn't deny them. I think she's just she thought it was gonna like rattle me, and of course it didn't. I explained it away. I told the truth of the situation just in case it ever comes up to the person I know. So I don't know. I was honest about it. Just got ahead of it, and this is what it is.
And you're single now?
No. I'm with somebody now, and it's you're not gonna ever see that again. I can tell you that. But I find her to be a fucking scummy little fucking white trash fucking tramp.
Oh wow.
She is.
You're having some fun with this. Yeah.
Anybody that does that, like, they make it sound like it was like I was like going to her house. It's like I sent DMs because I want to have sex with her. It's not that crazy. Like it's a man sending somebody DMs. it's not like it was like I was relentlessly sending, or I was like trying to find where the person lived, or it's not like that. So it is what it is. I mean, this happens every day. There's no getting around it. They're out there. I just find it weird that like these people want to like do these things, and
Yeah.
that's their prerogative, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's scumbag stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but with so Freddie Lynn saying you denied them at first, but then you've realized you can't deny them anymore. Would you say
I didn't
that's
deny it. What happened was I didn't even, I'm an idiot. I saw the blue check mark and I'm like, well, I put it on for a month because I'm like, hey, I'm gonna try to stream some of the cooking shit. And then I was like, yeah. So I canceled it. Then when I saw that check mark, I'm like, well, they took the screenshot when I had the check mark. Maybe it's fake, but it's not. I mean, I thought about it. You're right. You just screen back, you just scroll back down. It's your account. So I obviously it's not fake. It's definitely not fake.
Look, I'm going to say a few things here, Kane. I don't want you to take this the wrong way.
Sure.
I don't want the listeners and the viewers to take this the wrong way. There is nothing wrong with a guy wanting to get his rocks off. And there is nothing wrong with saying to a girl, hey, do you want to come and hang out with me in a hotel room? Look, I think it's weird to say that to a girl you've just met on Twitter, don't know, could be fucking Sneakers' account, and you're saying that stuff. I think that's a bit weird, but you didn't do anything wrong. Like, you asked her, she said no, or she didn't reply, and then that was it.
That's it.
Like, I do not think there is anything wrong with that. Like, I think you're right. If you do other things, try and track them down in real life, try and dox them, just rock up at their house like Jay used to do to Lindsay. You know, that is weird stuff. But to just try and like hit onto a girl when you were either single or in a casual relationship, which is none of us to judge. Like, there are so many relationships now where it's, hey, you know, we'll hang out, but also if you hang out with someone else, it doesn't matter. So I'm Team Kane on this one. You know, I personally don't think it's a good idea to send those messages.
Not good, especially with these people. You know.
Yeah, no, a girl in the Minifan world, you know that's going to come out.
That's
like, I thought I could trust Lauren Lynn. I didn't hit on. Well, I did hit on her, but that was in person. But you know, I sent her messages of a private nature, and she shared them. So, you know, I learned you actually can't trust anyone.
No, and you know, it's okay. It's not earth shattering to me. I find it to be weird when people try to like ruin your life about it. That's the weird part, really. Like, somebody reaching out to you, hitting on you. It's not that weird. It just isn't, man. Again, Don and these guys are frauds, because if Robbie V did the same thing, they wouldn't say a fucking thing, right? They just wouldn't. They wouldn't be talking about it. They wouldn't bring it up. They wouldn't, because they like him. That's all it is. It's not the weirdness of it. It's that they tried to get me in some spot where I don't know how many times you got to learn. Like, nothing's ever that bad, because I know how I am. I'm decently controlled. Like, I don't.
Well, let's not go too far.
Yeah, I mean, something may happen, but I do want to apologize for dropping that F slur too. I was going to say it on my show, but while I'm here, might as well. I feel bad that I did that. It's really not part of my vocabulary. I don't know why I said it. It's, you know, I felt really. I'm surprised it didn't get more traction. I don't want to hurt the fucking network. That's really.
Don't worry about it. Kirk doesn't care. Obviously, we don't condone that.
I don't want to hurt the network.
Language. We don't condone that type of language. It's very offensive.
It is.
But it's been on this network before. It was on Kirk's main channel a number of times when John stole some network shows and put them over there. So, look, I would steer away from that slur, the F slur, but.
Yeah, I know, definitely. I mean, it's not. I don't even really say it that much.
If Kirk said to me, "I don't want that on the network," then I would go in and take stuff out. But Kirk doesn't care. He doesn't care. All right, Dave Scott. How much money has Kane spent on cocaine in his lifetime?
$0.
All right.
You know, had a good
that,
run.
my friends, is a lie. David Bastida. Is Brando on steroids? I'm going to go 100% yes.
Messing with his sobriety on those steroids, man. He's getting ripped.
There's absolutely no way he's not on steroids. Great. Michigan Man, can we talk about what it will take to get BA back on the network? No, we can't. Brandon from Connecticut, how do you think Brando will do on KMS? So I don't know if you heard the Brando show, but he's been booked. Well, you did hear it because you were probably producing it. So he's been booked for the end of the month. and he's decided that it's probably sensible. He's doing third shifts, I think 11 till 7. I think that's third shift.
Yeah. Yep.
So he's decided he should take the night off before, so he's got some sleep.
Sure.
And I would say, yes, absolutely take the
That's
night
probably
off
important,
because Kirk and the show move so quickly. If you're a bit tired, you are going to be left behind. Like, you are going to be in the dust. You know, I went in there pretty jet lagged when I went in studio to do Minifandom, and you know, it took a bit of, you know, but it's different. I'm a talent. But all I'm saying to Brando is just get some sleep. And look, the problem is he probably won't sleep because he'll be so hyped up. But better off being in bed. Try and get some sleep. Maybe take an Ambien or a melatonin or something.
Eat something.
But I think Brando will do fine. Like, he listens to the show. I think he's a nice enough guy, so I'm sure he'll be adequate. He'll be a 5 out of 10.
Sure, definitely will be. I you know, I don't know if you talked about Kevin from Bristol, right? Like, I thought there was a lot of people saying, like, was that one of the, I think Mayo said one of the best shows he's ever seen. Like, I don't want to go that far. It was a great first appearance. He did really well. And that's a good blueprint for Brandon, you know, come in with a game or something and have, and even though the games can be a crutch, I guess, but you have a good game. Don't talk too much. Don't get in the way. Just kind of find your spots. And that's a good first appearance. You can't lose.
Absolutely. No, he was good, and he'll get back in there again for sure. Michigan Man, can you get BA and Sneakers to do a show haters show? Well, thank you, Michigan Man. I will answer this question. BA is not interested anymore. I don't know what he's doing, but it ain't KMS related. And Sneakers is very good at doing the same tweets all the time about how bad everything is. Like, he's very good. He like copies and pastes the same tweet every day, but he also is very bad at committing to something. So
true.
You know, he's been great on the network when he comes on, and he you know, did help bring it back, but I think unfortunately his talents lie elsewhere.
Definitely. He's just inconsistent. Yeah, that's his problem. He's funny though.
Roscoe, where does Hot or Not rank among the worst shows on the network of all time? Look, I'll say this, Roscoe, and I said it at the top of the show. I don't think there's been worse on the network. I don't know if it is the worst, like, but I think it's in the competition. Like, just trying to think of some of the really bad shows that have been on there. Ned Snark's Grateful Dead and KMS crossover show, that was pretty bad. The History Show was pretty bad. But even if you
that
like,
book club couldn't have been good, huh?
No, that was bad. But I don't even know if that was on the network.
Nicktacular.
Yeah, Nicktacular show. Yeah. But Roscoe, it's way up there. And just let this sink in a minute. Tommy Quinlan is paid to go on the radio.
That's crazy.
And he thought that was acceptable. Anyway. The Patriots stink again. Manners, how long do you foresee fireside chats lasting on the network? I don't know. Maybe, you know, Freddie will reboot and forget all about it, and we won't get another episode. But I don't think it'll go anywhere. The only thing which is interesting is Freddie's got this thing where he's trying to have unique voices on every time. And, you know, I don't know if you heard, but he proudly trumpeted,
I heard
a little bit of a dig at cinema. He said, oh, you know, whoever he had on, and these are my, I've had 21 different panelists on.
Unique voices.
Yes. And, that was a direct shot at cinema, a bit of network wars there. So I think he's doing a good job. But at one point, Freddie's going to have to go back to the well and bring people through who's been on before. I mean, I don't know how long he'll keep going through Unique Minifans.
Not that long. Yeah, he's already repeated a bunch of times anyway, so it's not, they're not all unique. He's had plenty of repeats. And repeat questions.
Yeah, Patrick Crowley. Yeah, Patrick Crowley. Fridays were never an issue before JFS ran BA off the network. That's not really true. Like, Joe the Axe was just so good at bookings. Like, she would literally have sort of 6 people on the go for every Friday because half would drop off. So I think biggest mistake in Kirk's career, undervaluing Joe. Biggest mistake. Mikey Grabbags, man, has any thoughts on having the network premiere a show at 10 a.m. on the day Kirk doesn't do a show? Could help exposure. That's interesting, Mikey. I've thought about that. It's a little hard because the network the main show doesn't do set days. If they just did every Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you could go Tuesday, Thursday, we're going to put stuff on the network at 10 a.m. But sometimes it's Monday, Tuesday, Thursday. Sometimes it's Monday, Wednesday, Thursday, and then Friday calling. Like, it just changes too much. But I think, for example, if after March, the Laconia show, they take a 6-month break, maybe we'll start to put more network stuff in that time slot. What do you think?
I don't know how much it would matter. I don't know. I think like if you had it on the actual the main channel station, maybe it'd make a difference, but I don't know if it's going to make a difference on our network. But I think the people that watch our shows are going to watch our shows. I don't think it's going to be that much different, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I guess there's a gap there, in the daytime when people go thinking, oh, there's a KMS, no KMS, what am I going to watch? Maybe have something on the network. Not sure. I don't think it's quite the same sort of, I don't think it quite replaces it. Anyway, MF5H, when did Menace go blind? Well, I mean, I think people have seen screenshots from my phone for a while. I actually got tested for my eyes about 2 years ago, but then I decided I'm just going to try to not wear my glasses. So I would have the font on really big on my phone.
What were the results? Do you remember what your eyes were?
No, but I started getting headaches recently, which is like your eyes are working too hard. So this is my new intelligent look. John and Warren, good week for Justin. Yeah, very good week. I think the jerking off bit in the massage parlor, the Lego bit, was all very good. Kind of wish you got jerked off. Like, if you're going to go and do it, just let her jerk you off. Like, what's the big deal? Like, Kane, I don't know how there's an argument about this. It is 50 times better when someone jerks you off.
Especially if they use lotion. I mean, isn't that like the icing on the cake? I don't even understand that argument. I understand what he's trying to say. Obviously, we're the best at it, but the girl is just like the porn, right? But they're live. Like, it's way better. I mean, it's not even debatable. That was a horrible take by Kirk. He's kind of a weird guy with that kind of stuff, isn't he? How many people would actually agree that you doing yourself is better than a girl doing it to you? That's got to be like 99 to 1%. It's got to be.
Yeah. Well, Dave Scott says Kirk has never experienced the hand job, and sounds like it. What I also found strange that he's never ejaculated while having a blowjob. Like, that is wild to have never come in a girl's mouth.
That was crazy. And I wonder, maybe he's just not getting good blowjobs. That's got to be what it is.
You reckon?
That's almost. Yeah. Well, what else could it be? How is that possible? I mean,
someone like they give it a bit of a suck and then they jump on you, and so I don't know, but I just found that
a weird take.
Bizarre. Like to not bizarre. Have, like is there anything better than coming in a girl's mouth? I mean,
nothing. I can tell you, it's the best thing. To hear a halfway chuck. Oh, that's great.
Yeah. MA Gambling Girl, you around?
No, I'm going at her. I really don't want to deal with the trail park dress,
No, I get it. I think that's all the questions from. Oh, here's one from Mikey Grabbags. Follow-up question from Kevin's Game for both Kane and Manners. What is your seminal movie nudity scene? Do you have one?
I really like that Linda Hamilton one that he said with the Terminator, which is my favorite movie of all time. The other one I thought about that in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, that Phoebe Cates gets the bulk of the credit for that. But there's actually another great scene in there with, I think her name is Jennifer Lee something.
Yeah.
And that's a pretty damn good scene too. Really? And also the scene from True Detective. I don't know what her name is.
With Alexandria Daddario.
Yes, there you go.
Yeah.
It's a good one.
Mike, I don't think I have a seminal
Yeah.
naked movie scene. I'm too classy for that. I just, to be honest, when I was a young child, my grandfather took me to see this French movie called Manon des Sources, and it's a foreign language film. So my grandfather's 80. I'm literally 10 or 8,
Okay.
and this is
So you want to tell this story? Or, yeah.
no.
All
So
right.
he takes me to the movies, and European background, we're cultured, we're not afraid of a bit of nudity, but I mean, it just had this French chick just naked the whole time, and I was just like, as a pubescent young, yeah, it's exactly. It was released in 1986. I was 10, and
That's really fucked up. That must have been
why
so
is that?
uncomfortable. It must have been
Why?
uncomfortable for you, like around your grandfather with a naked scene. Holy
I
shit! Poor
wasn't
him. He
jerking
must have
off.
been.
I
No,
wasn't
I know, but
jerking
he must
off.
have been like devastated. Like if I sat down, a nude scene came out with my son, I'd be like, this is not good. I don't like this. Your poor
It's
grandfather.
it's kind of okay because when you're in a cinema, it's dark, so it's not like you're watching it at home. But that left a huge impression on me, and I
I'm
still
sure.
to this day get super horned up about French girls. Don 1986 and 1986.
Good stuff.
Yeah, so that's about it for my seminal movie scene. Well, I think that's it, guys. I mean, wow, gone for an hour for this tiny CEO. Thanks everybody for tuning in. Kane, thanks for joining me. I would just lighten up a bit. Look, if I'm giving you some advice, then you need to lighten up, find some humor, get over it.
I'll try to find it.
And just so we're clear, so we know, the solidarity, people know that we have each other's back.
Sure.
Like Mick is banned from this show or Manners Live until your ban is lifted from the main show.
Yeah, Mick is, he's banned everywhere from my show too. You're not allowed on Mick. No, actually, I would have Mick on. I wouldn't ban him.
And I'm not saying I would ban Kirk from his own network because you're banned from his show. But
I don't know if I'm banned from the show. I'm just banned. I'm just blocked. I don't know.
Blocked.
Am I banned from the show? You think? Well, it's cool.
That's true. No, you're not. You're not. I think you're just blocked. Anyway, thanks everybody for tuning in to Tiny CEO, Kane's Corner. So you're going live afterwards?
Yeah, I'll set the link and I'll go right away.
All right. So thanks everybody. There'll be a new show starting in a few moments. Kane's Corner. And I'll be back hopefully on Friday night at Mike and the Minifans.